An earthquake has been felt moderately by many people in the San Francisco Bay Area. The earthquake was powerful enough that it caused minor structural damage to well-built homes in the Hollister area. Other than that, no other significant damage has been reported at this time. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in the United States Geological Survey has indicated that at 4:53 a.m., an earthquake magnitude 5.8 on the Richter scale was centered near latitude 36.6 north, longitude -121.2 west, or 14 miles east of Salinas, California. Any further information will be made available when it is received by the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. These are the 6 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time observations for the San Francisco and Monterey Bay areas on Thursday, June 21st. At San Francisco. An earthquake has been felt moderately by many people in the San Francisco Bay Area. New information: a new earthquake was centered in the northern San Francisco Bay Area. Significant damage is just now being reported in the city of Concord, as a few well-built homes in the area have reported damage to part of the ceilings, and furnishing and televisions have fallen due to these tremors. Also, minor damage has occurred to the exterior of the Walnut Creek DMV office. At this time, no significant damage is being reported in the city of San Francisco. A few power lines in the area have been knocked down, and power outages are being reported in most of the city of Concord. The San Francisco Bay Bridge has been closed due to an imminent risk of earthquakes. The city of San Francisco is under voluntary earthquake preparedness operation procedure. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in the United States Geological Survey has indicated that at 5:43 a.m., an earthquake magnitude 6.4 was centered around 37.5 north, -121.3 west, or 9 miles north of San Francisco, California. Any further information will be made available when it is received by the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey. Geologists in the San Francisco Bay Area have detected that unusual seismic activity has occurred along the San Andreas Fault line near the San Francisco area. More seismic activity is being received according to seismic gauges, and it has been determined that a large earthquake is likely to strike the San Francisco area within the next hour. This will likely be centered just west of San Francisco. Residents in the San Francisco area should take immediate precautions to protect life and property should this earthquake strike. The Bay Bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge are all being evacuated and are being closed as a precaution. The speed limit on the Bay Bridge is being lifted due to the impending earthquake, so that the bridge may be safely evacuated. Drivers, excluding those on any limited access highways, should pull over immediately. All buildings in these areas are being evacuated as a precaution. All persons entering or currently in the San Francisco area should take immediate action. Leave the building or vehicle you are in, unless you are still coming in. If you know of a nearby location that has been designated as an earthquake shelter, go there now. Otherwise, go to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor. Get under a piece of sturdy furniture. Stay away from windows and glass. Only call 911 if you have a life-threatening emergency. San Francisco police are currently reporting problems with the 911 system, and if you don't have an emergency and you call 911, you may be endangering someone who really needs it. In fact, you should stay off the telephone unless you are using it for official use. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio or your local news station for updates. An earthquake has been felt by many persons in the Eureka and Redding areas this morning. No damage has been reported. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center and the United States Geological Survey has indicated that at 5:43 a.m., an earthquake magnitude 6.4 was centered around 40.8 north, 123.6 west, or near Eureka, California. Any further information will be made available when it is received by the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. If you have felt any tremors, please make sure you contact your local emergency management agency immediately. You will need to describe any damages, if any, and provide how powerful it was. To repeat, an earthquake has been felt by many persons in the Eureka and Redding areas this morning. No damage has been reported. A large and extremely powerful earthquake has been felt moderately by many people in the Mendocino Valley early this morning. At 9 a.m., a new earthquake was centered around the Brook Trails and Willits area of Northern California. This earthquake was powerful enough that many trees in the Mendocino National Forest have fallen down. Residents in the cities of Brook Trails, Willits, and Redwood Valley are reporting minor structural damage to well-built homes. Moderate structural damage has occurred to the Jackson State Forest Visitor Center. Many residences in the Clear Lake area are reporting down power lines, and many well-built homes have also sustained minor structural damage. Many residents in these areas are without power. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center and the United States Geological Survey have indicated that at 6:04 a.m., an earthquake magnitude 7.1 on the Richter scale has occurred near 39.1 north west, or 17 miles north-northwest of Redwood. To repeat, a large and extremely powerful earthquake has been felt moderately by many people in the Mendocino Valley early this morning.
An administrative message from the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Earthquake report information. A major powerful earthquake has occurred recently in the San Francisco area. New information. At 6:47 a.m., a very large and destructive earthquake was centered along the San Francisco Bay Area. Significant damage was widespread, and the number of fatalities is still unknown. According to the United States Corps of Engineers, the San Francisco Bay Bridge has collapsed and has broken in half. There have been reports of fatalities in this area, as many people were still heading in. Cars have fallen in the water. The Golden Gate Bridge has also collapsed, causing another unknown number of fatalities along the bridge. Many buildings in downtown San Francisco have collapsed due to these tremors, captivating many residents in their shelters. There have been reports of high numbers of fatalities, and many more injuries. Millions of residents in the metropolitan area are without power. Many radio and TV stations have been knocked off the air. Luckily, according to the California Association of Broadcasters, many radio and TV stations have been reported to be put on backup. NOAA weather radio repeated KEC 49 has been knocked out of service. The only operational transmitter is KAD-94 in Yosemite National Park. 911 service in the entire metropolitan area has been knocked out of service. Landline and cable communication has been severely disrupted due to this earthquake. Thousands of reports are coming in, indicating that well-built homes have major structural damage. Trees have been uprooted. Only a 20th of the metropolitan area is reporting that their electricity is still running, although damage has occurred to most of this region. This earthquake has a preliminary reading of 9.6 on the Richter scale. The earthquake was felt by many major cities in the United States, such as Los Angeles, Phoenix, Seattle, Dallas, Fort Worth, Norman, Denver, and Cheyenne. This earthquake was also felt weakly by a few residents, even as east as Des Moines, Iowa, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Omaha, Nebraska, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Even a resident in the city of Peoria, Illinois, has reported that he felt a tremor very weakly. No other earthquakes have been reported in any of the United States outside of California and Nevada this morning, indicating that the tremor has reached the city of Peoria. The United States following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey. Any remaining survivors from the recent earthquake, you are being asked to stay in your shelter. However, the earthquake has finished. Powerful aftershocks are expected to form within the next hour. Survivors are being asked to remain in their shelters until all earthquake danger is over. Again, any remaining survivors from the recent earthquake, you are being asked to stay in your shelter. Continue to heed any information on your local media for updates. We interrupt programming. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow shortly. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air, providing official information for assigned areas. This is KABC Los Angeles. This station will remain on the air to serve the greater Los Angeles metropolitan area. If you are not in this area, tune now to a station providing official information for your area. This is the emergency alert system serving the greater Los Angeles metropolitan area. Do not use your telephone. The telephone lines should be kept open for official use. The emergency alert system has been activated to keep you informed. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air, providing official information for assigned areas. This is KABC Los Angeles. This station will remain on the The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. This is not a test. At 6:46 a.m., a major earthquake has struck the San Francisco area, causing damage to a majority of the area. The entire city of San Francisco has been ravaged by this earthquake. This earthquake measured 9.8 on the Richter scale. At this time, it has been determined that powerful aftershocks are likely to form in the western United States within the next few hours. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in Hawaii has determined that the entire state of California is under a risk for a potential deadly tsunami generated by the earthquake. Survivors of the earthquake are being asked to remain in their shelters until all earthquake danger is over. The President will be speaking about this situation shortly. Stand by for this message. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air, providing official information for assigned areas. This is KABC Los Angeles. This station will remain on the air to serve the greater Los Angeles metropolitan area. If you are not in this area, tune now to a station providing official information for your area. This is the emergency alert system serving the greater Los Angeles metropolitan area. Do not use your telephone. The telephone lines should be kept open for official use. The emergency alert system has been activated to keep you informed. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. This is not a test. At 6:46 a.m., a major earthquake has struck the San Francisco area, causing damage to a majority of the area. The entire city of San Francisco has been ravaged by this earthquake. This earthquake measured 9.8 on the Richter scale. At this time, it has been determined that powerful aftershocks are likely to form in the western United States. Stand by for a message from a representative of the President. Hello America, I am a representative of the President here to speak with everyone about this disaster. The President is not here as she is on vacation in California and is currently taking shelter. For those of you who have not yet knew, a major earthquake has occurred near San Francisco, ravaging the entire city. Any remaining survivors hearing this message, the United States Geological Survey and the Federal Emergency Management Agency is requesting you stay in your shelter until further notice. We as America, as a nation, shall keep our hearts open at all costs. We have lost possibly 500,000 innocent lives. We may lose thousands more, as the Geological Survey is indicating a rise on seismic activity. The only thing we will never lose is hope. We will continue to stand together as a nation, and although we witness these tragic events, we won't lose hope. Our world is a place of scary events and other scary types of things. Our nation is not to be torn apart, but we shall continue to stand together as if it is. Remember America, stay calm during these tragic events.
You have just heard a message from the President of the United States. We are currently undergoing a major natural disaster. This is KABC, and we will be providing news and information for the state of California, as well as surrounding areas of the southwestern United States. This station will serve as a backup reception for the San Francisco area. Any survivors, please stay tuned. Important information will be provided for your area. For residents of the San Francisco area, survivors are being asked to remain in their shelters until all earthquake danger is over. Aftershocks are expected to develop within the next few hours. It is unknown at this time where these aftershocks will hit. According to the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, this earthquake was powerful enough that it is triggering a possible tsunami. At 7 a.m., the tremors from the earthquake were extending outward 60 nautical miles offshore from Monterey Harbor. This tremor is still moving westward, and gradually slowing down. This tsunami is expected to increase in intensity before reaching the area. If this tsunami occurs, landfall should happen within the next 12 hours. Any remaining survivors should remain in their shelters, until all earthquake danger has passed, or if told to leave the area by the local authorities. A tsunami advisory has been issued a few minutes ago from the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, and the National Weather Service in Oxnard, in cooperation with the National Weather Service in San Diego. The National Weather Service here in Monterey cannot cooperate with us at this time, due to them being closed, as they are currently taking their own precautions at this time. All NOAA weather radio transmitters operated by the Monterey office are off the air due to the office being closed, and the loss of electricity in this area. Therefore, all warnings and watches routinely issued by the San Francisco office will be issued by the Oxnard office, until the recovery process has been completed. This is KABC, and we will be providing news and information for the state of California, as well as surrounding areas of the southwestern United States. This station will serve as a backup reception for the San Francisco area. Any survivors, please stay tuned. Important information will be provided for your area. This is KABC, on an assigned frequency of 790 kHz. This is KABC, and we will be providing news and information for the state of California, as well as surrounding areas of the southwestern United States. This station will serve as a backup reception for the San Francisco area. Any survivors, please stay tuned. Important information will be provided for your area. For those who are just now tuning in, or have not yet heard, the city of San Francisco has been ravaged by a remain in their shelters until all earthquake danger is over. Aftershocks are expected to develop within the next few hours. Communications in the area have been severely disrupted, and the lengths of fatalities and injuries are still unknown, and have yet to be determined. Due to these outages, you may not be able to call 911 if you have an emergency. The best thing you can do is to yell for help, as FEMA officials, and American Red Cross responders, are patrolling the area, specifically San Francisco city limits at this time. Continue to heed any information provided over this frequency, as this information is vital for any remaining survivors. As of right now, all AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, US Cellular, T-Mobile, and LTE customers are without any service. You are being asked to stay off the telephone, unless it is a working landline phone. Most landline customers are with
This is the National Weather Service with a tsunami watch from the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. A tsunami watch has been issued for the entire state of California, effective until 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. This watch includes the San Francisco Bay Area. This is a particularly dangerous situation. At 6:46 a.m., an earthquake magnitude 12.9 was centered along the San Francisco Bay Area. This earthquake has generated tremors extending outward 100 nautical miles from the shoreline of the Bay Area, and a tsunami is expected to form within the next 2 hours. Should this tsunami develop, this tsunami should make landfall within the next 6 hours. All persons in the areas affected should prepare to evacuate should this tsunami strike. Stay tuned to the station for updates.
As you have just heard, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center and the National Weather Service have issued a tsunami watch for a large part of California. A tsunami has been generated by the recent earthquake, and is likely expected to make landfall within the next 6 hours. This is expected to make a direct impact on the Bay Area. San Francisco residents, here is some important information for your area. The Bay Area is expected to have a direct impact from the potential tsunami. Intensity and speed of the waves are still unknown as of right now. The authorities are requesting all residents along the San Andreas Fault to remain in their shelters until told to leave by the local authorities. The California Department of Public Safety are bringing in backup warning sirens to warn the public of any tsunami event. If you hear sirens, or if you hear an update concerning a tsunami warning, this would be a good time to leave your shelter. According to the United States Geological Survey, aftershocks of magnitudes 5.4 and 3.5 are already being received. More and much more powerful aftershocks are expected to develop within the next hour or so please continue to stay tuned to this station for updates, and do not leave your shelter until you hear an all-clear message on this station, or if a tsunami warning is issued for evacuation of the area. For Los Angeles inland and coastal residents, no tsunami danger is forecast for your area at the moment. However, forecast confidence may change, and our area may still have some effects from the tsunami. Coastal flooding will highly likely be a strong impact for our area. From the National Weather Service, the potential impact of a tsunami with very high surf, and waves reaching as high as 80 feet high, odds are that it might impact areas even as south as Los Angeles. It is also forecast that it could reach as high as more than 100 miles inland. If you live in elevations above 8,000 feet, your property is not likely to be affected. For all California residents, you should be prepared to evacuate at any given moment. The potential tsunami is expected to have a direct impact on the area. It is not forecast to impact all of California, but it is currently expected to track directly towards the
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey. Geologists in the San Francisco and Los Angeles areas have determined that a very powerful aftershock is expected to strike within the next 10 minutes. This earthquake is likely to be centered around the Greenfield and Soledad areas.
All remaining survivors currently in their shelters should remain in their shelters until all earthquake danger is over. Continue to monitor local media for additional information.
You have just heard a message from the United States Geological Survey. As you have just previously heard, an aftershock as a result of the previous quake is expected to strike within the next 10 minutes, likely to be centered north of our area. Once again, you are being advised to stay in your shelters until all earthquake danger is over. Los Angeles residents, you have already felt the previous earthquake. This aftershock should have a more direct hit on our area. Seismic meters have indicated high seismic activity in this area, likely increasing along the southern fault area. More quakes should have a direct impact on our area. KABC will be broadcasting as long as we can. If you lose the station, there are more alternative feeds you may receive. We may be able to manage to initiate the backup transmitting in case we lose power. In fact, some residents in the metro are reporting many power outages in the region. This may have been a result of the previous earthquake. Here are some stations you may be able to receive in case we go off the air. KMZQ Las Vegas, on 670 kHz, KFYI Phoenix, on 550 kHz, KBI Seattle, on 570 kHz, KFIR Sweet Home Oregon, on 720 kHz, and WBAP, Fort Worth, on 820 kHz. No FM stations are currently serving the greater San Francisco area at the moment. As reported by the California Association of Broadcasting, all FM stations are off the air, without any backup service running at the moment. All receptions are being reported as of this time, from the California Association of Broadcasters. On with the program, tremors are now being reported just southwest of the town of Eureka, California. Los Angeles may actually be starting to shake already. Hold on, I just noticed a launch. We will be broadcasting as long as we can, and if we manage to go off the air, hold on, our power just went out. The studio is shaking, but please bear with us. If we go off the air... In the northwest, in fact, I believe the station just went offline for a few seconds, but our backup equipment just managed to initiate properly. I just hope no damage occurs to our equipment, as the KABC staff is currently doing their earthquake exercises to ensure safety. I think we are all ready. May change at any time, so please remain aware of the situation. Hold on, we are currently getting reports of a 7.5 magnitude aftershock in the Los Angeles area. According to the United States Geological Survey, there has been extreme seismic activity in the region. There is another very strong aftershock likely to strike Central California within the next 5 minutes. Please make sure you continue to remain in your shelters until further notice. This is KMZQ, transmitting from Las Vegas, Nevada. An emergency action notification has been declared. A natural disaster has occurred in this area. We will be providing information for the Southwest United States. This station will serve as a backup reception for the Los Angeles and San Francisco areas. Attention, KABC is currently off the air. Is currently tuned into KABC Los Angeles. They are currently off the air due to a power outage. The backup equipment has failed to initiate properly. Therefore, the station will also broadcast important information for these areas as well. However, emergency alerts cannot be broadcast for the San Francisco or Los Angeles areas, as these alerts are provided by a NOAA weather radio feed, which our feed at this time is being broadcast from the Las Vegas NOAA weather radio transmitter. However, we will be broadcasting alerts as necessary, as it is vital for your survival. Please stay tuned. Important information will be provided on this frequency. Please note this station is currently running on backup, as a result of a power outage, and a slight disruption of services from the previous earthquake. If we end up going off the air, you will be asked to tune to an alternative AM Seattle, as that station is broadcasting from a 5,000-watt tower on a lower frequency, and our staff is currently recording good reception from this station. It operates on 570 kHz. Hold on, the United States Geological Survey is currently informing us that another powerful aftershock is expected to be centered around the San Francisco area. We cannot activate the emergency alert system for this message. However, San Francisco residents, please remember to remain in your shelters until further notice. Higher seismic activity is just now being reported in this region, and another aftershock is determined to be likely within the next 15 minutes. Remember, cell service has been disrupted in most of the San Francisco area. You may not be able to dial 911. If you have any kind of life-threatening emergency, the best you can do is to yell for help. American Red Cross responders, State Patrol, local police, and San Francisco and other area firefighters are patrolling the area. If there is no firefighter or other patrol agent nearby, you are being advised to ensure that you will be able to bear with yourself. If you are stuck, continue to yell for help as loud as you can. Patrol agents are currently flowing the city. Hold, I am getting an EAS activation request from the San Francisco Police Department. We will transmit that as soon as we can. Wait, Los Angeles, this is an earthquake warning. I repeat, an earthquake warning is in effect for your area. Please stand by for this information. This is the automated seismic warning system. All programming has been interrupted to bring you vital information. Geologists have indicated that yet another very large, powerful, and extremely intense earthquake is expected to strike within the next 15 minutes, likely affecting the majority of the southern and central areas of California. According to seismic gauges, this earthquake is expected to be far more intense than the San Francisco earthquake that happened within the past hour. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation for all civilians in southern and central California. To prepare, you are ordered to take the following precautions: drop, cover, and hold on immediately. Get immediately to the lowest floor of your home or business. Avoid all windows and glass. Stay where you are until the shaking stops. Do not run outside. Do not get in a doorway, as this does not provide protection from falling or flying objects, and you may not be able to remain standing. Drop down onto your hands and knees so the earthquake doesn't knock you down. Drop to the ground before the earthquake drops you. Cover your head and neck with your arms to protect yourself from falling debris. If you are in danger from falling objects, and you can move safely, crawl for additional cover under a sturdy desk or table. If there is low furniture or an interior wall or corner nearby, and the path is clear, these may also provide some additional cover. Stay away from glass, windows, outside doors and walls, and anything that could fall, such as light fixtures or furniture. Hold on to any sturdy covering so you can move with it until the shaking stops. Stay where you are until the shaking stops. If getting safely to the floor to take cover won't be possible, identify an inside corner of the room away from windows and objects that could fall on you. The Earthquake Country Alliance advises getting as low as possible to the floor. People who use wheelchairs or other mobility devices should lock their wheels and remain seated until the shaking stops. Protect your head and neck with your arms, a pillow, a book, or whatever is available. If you are in bed, stay there and cover your head and neck with a pillow, and continue until the shaking stops. If you are outdoors when the shaking starts, Move away from buildings, street lights, and utility wires. Once in the open, stay there until the shaking stops. This might not be possible in a city, so you may need to duck inside a building to avoid falling debris. If you are in a moving vehicle, stop as quickly and safely as possible and stay in the vehicle. Avoid stopping near or under buildings, trees, overpasses, and utility wires. Proceed cautiously once the earthquake has stopped. Avoid roads, bridges, or ramps that the earthquake may have damaged. When the shaking stops, look around. If there is a clear path to safety, leave the building and go to an open space away from damaged areas. If you are trapped, do not move about or kick up dust. If you have a cell phone with you, use it to call or text for help. Tap on a pipe or wall or use a whistle, if you have one, so that rescuers can locate you. Once safe, monitor local news reports via battery-operated radio, TV, social media, weather radio, and cell phone text alerts for emergency information and instructions. Be prepared to drop, cover, and hold on in the likely event of aftershocks. Continue to heed any information provided by the local authorities. Remember, in any emergency, always listen to the instructions given by local emergency management officials. As a precaution of this impending earthquake, all stations in the Los Angeles area will now cease programming. Please tune your radio to 670 kHz for the latest information in your area. Only use your telephone if you have a life-threatening emergency. Please make sure you are currently in shelter. Please stay tuned. This station is currently on backup and will continue to serve your area. This is an important message from the KMZQ staff. We are signing off due to an impending large earthquake. A large earthquake is likely in the coming minutes. Tune to 570 AM, or another station on the amplitude modulation band for vital information.
disseminated in a few minutes. This is KBICR on 570 AM. Emergency programming is in effect. Please stand by. Please stand by. An important message will be disseminated in a few minutes. This is KBICR on 570 AM. Emergency programming is in effect. Please stand by. Listening to KBI 570 AM, a class B reception service operating as a backup reception for portions of California and Nevada. If you aren't really hearing us good, you can try tuning your radio to 820 AM, which you should get WBNT Fort Worth. The time right now is 7:52 AM Pacific Daylight Time. This just in, KMZQ Las Vegas, Nevada, is off the air. It seems right as they were signing off as a precaution, the California earthquake knocked their broadcast offline. They were about to sign back on if they could, but they were unable to. We had a breaking news bulletin and a live look at what used to be San Francisco, California. A federal chopper unit is here with us with more details.
You can see here, the entire city is just in shambles. This is what it needs to be like. It looks like a gigantic landfill from here. Only about half of the people here are okay from what I'm hearing. Also online, we have an American Red Cross representative joining me.
You can hear that there is mass panic everywhere. People are screaming, and they're hearing things like, "We're all gonna die." Una was here earlier this morning. I was a survivor of this huge monster, and I'm just so thankful I made it. Una was going to the shelter. The city looked as it typically would be, but everything is completely gone. What a disaster. This is what I personally say is more catastrophic than 9/11, but it's Mother Nature's way of attacking us. What I personally say is that these attacks and chaotic events are supposed to wake people up and be thankful they're around. Just look at this. I know you probably can't see this if you were listening to the radio, but it is so tragic. Phone back to you.
This is Federal Chopper News 17. Back to you.
Well, it isn't over. There was just another earthquake with a preliminary reading of 9.4 on the Richter scale. Listen carefully to the following report. An administrative message from the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Earthquake report information. A large and extremely powerful earthquake has occurred in Southern California, associated with the seismic activity that has caused many of the strong quakes along the fault line. New information. At 7:37 AM, another extremely large and powerful earthquake has occurred, this time centered about 45 miles northeast of Los Angeles. The tremors were so powerful that many buildings in Los Angeles, specifically that of downtown, have collapsed, causing an unknown number of fatalities and injuries in this area. According to officials, the Hollywood Mountain Hollywood has collapsed due to erosion and has caused this area to be impassable. This earthquake has a preliminary reading of 9.4 on the Richter scale. This earthquake was felt in most areas of the southwest United States, and even slight damage to a well-built home in eastern Arizona has occurred from this quake. With this earthquake, there is another tsunami threat. At 7:48 AM, the tremors associated with this earthquake were extending outward 50 nautical miles away from Santa Monica Harbor. These waves were moving westward up to around 70 miles an hour. It is uncertain where potential head-on targets are with this tsunami. However, it will cause more mass devastation in the area. Persons in these areas should continue to remain in their shelters until all earthquake danger is over. This has been an administrative message from FEMA. tsunami warning is now being issued. Please stand by for the following announcement. This is the National Weather Service with a tsunami warning from the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. A tsunami warning has been issued for the entire state of California, areas of coastal southern Oregon until further notice. At 9:15 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, a tsunami as a result of the associated tremors from the earthquakes earlier have been indicated by many Doppler radar sites across California. As of right now, the tsunami width extends from the following coordinates: from the point latitude 31.47 north, longitude 127.35 west, to the point latitude 42.75 north, longitude 135.52 west. The tsunami is moving rapidly at 150 miles per hour or 240 kilometers per hour. This tsunami will have a direct impact on the entire state of California. The entire cities of Los Angeles and San Francisco are in extreme danger. This tsunami has been determined to have wave heights possibly as high as 1,000 feet. This tsunami is forecast to make landfall within the next 3 hours. Now is the time to evacuate. A mandatory evacuation has been issued for all of the coastal areas. Your area police will assist with any evacuation information. Please heed any designated evacuation routes in your area. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the State of California. All survivors in the State of California, particularly west of the Sierra Nevada, are being mandated to evacuate the area. A tsunami as a result of the 9.8 and 9.5 magnitude earthquakes in California this morning is expected to make a direct impact on the area. Again, a mandatory evacuation has been issued for all of the coastal areas. Your area police will assist with any evacuation information. Please heed any designated evacuation routes in your area. For limited access highway travelers, the California Highway Patrol and supporting agencies will reverse the direction of traffic along certain evacuation routes to ease the flow of traffic away from the coast. Travel will only be possible in one direction away from the coast on those routes while the evacuation is in progress. This is a mandatory evacuation. You must take action immediately. If you do not evacuate, you are putting your life in extreme danger. The California State Police are enforcing this evacuation. Take action now. Any nearby areas hearing this message should also prepare to take action should this threat intensify. Once again, all survivors in the state of California, particularly west of the Sierra Nevada, are being mandated to evacuate the area. Any nearby areas hearing this message should also prepare to take action should this threat intensify. Continue to heed any vital information for your area on this frequency. As you have just heard earlier, a tsunami warning has been issued. All survivors affected by the earthquake, especially San Francisco and Los Angeles, now is the time to evacuate, as mandated by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the State of California. This is KVI Seattle. Any remaining survivors, please stay tuned. Attention Seattle residents, there is a 5.4 magnitude earthquake centered about 13 miles southwest of Astoria, Oregon. This earthquake has been felt by many residents in our area. For residents in southern Lower Oregon, a heightened tsunami risk exists for your area. Should this tsunami have a direct impact on the area? Oh, hold on, I am getting very important information. A tsunami advisory has been issued from PTWC. This includes the following coastal areas of Oregon and Washington, Inland Clown, Coastal Clown, Clark, Inland Cowlitz, Coastal Cowlitz, Mason, Inland Grays Harbor, Coastal Grays Harbor, Inland Jefferson, Coastal Jefferson, Inland Pacific, Coastal Pacific, Inland Wakiakum, and Coastal Wakiakum. In Oregon, Benton, Inland Clatsop, Coastal Clatsop, Columbia, Inland Coos, Coastal Coos, Inland Curry, Coastal Curry, Coastal Douglas, Coastal Lane, Inland Lincoln, Coastal Lincoln, Inland Tillamook, Coastal Tillamook, Washington, and Van Hill. A tsunami advisory has been issued. The tsunami that has been generated by the San Francisco earthquake this morning has a slim chance of having a slight impact on your area. As of 9:19 a.m., Tsunami Warning Center forecasts indicate that high waves as a result of the previous earthquake should make landfall within the next 2 hours, possibly affecting areas as high north as Seattle. These tidal waves should range from 15 to possibly as high as 50 feet, specifically in coastal areas of southern Oregon. Should this high wave action occur, landfall is forecast to occur within the next 2 hours. The main impacts should be coastal flooding. Any persons living along the coast should prepare to take appropriate action should this landfall occur in your area. All Pacific Ocean beaches in America have been closed as a safety precaution. All area beaches are closed today. If you live along a beach or an area prone to coastal flooding, you should immediately take action to protect life and property. Voluntary evacuation to further inland areas of your county is being encouraged, as many areas will be flooded. Please monitor this station for further updates. Coastal Clown, Coastal Cowlitz, Coastal Grays Harbor, Coastal Jefferson, Coastal Pacific, and Coastal Wakiakum counties. Coastal flooding. Flooding as a result of a tsunami generated by the California earthquake should have an impact on coastal areas in Washington. High tide at Ocean City is expected to occur around 12:30 today. Wave heights, 15 to 25 feet, possibly higher in southern areas. Timing, best chance for coastal flooding from around noon today to as late as 5 p.m. on Friday. Impacts, a number of shore roads will likely become impassable for a time this evening. Coastal flooding around high tide will likely cause numerous shore roads to become impassable and put some structures at risk along the immediate shore. A coastal flood warning means that moderate or major coastal flooding is likely. Moderate coastal flooding produces widespread flooding of vulnerable shore roads and basins due to the height of storm tide and or wave action. Numerous road closures are needed. Lives may be at risk for people who put themselves in harm's way. Isolated structural damage may be observed. Major coastal flooding is considered severe enough to cause at least scattered structural damage along with widespread flooding of vulnerable shore roads and or basements. Some vulnerable homes may be severely damaged or destroyed. Evacuation of some neighborhoods may be necessary.
This is KMZQ Las Vegas and in cooperation with KABC Los Angeles. We were fortunate enough to be able to obtain an emergency operation transmitter which operates on 300 watts. This station is currently on backup operations, and therefore will only be broadcasting vital information for Los Angeles and Las Vegas area residents. We are broadcasting from an authorized emergency operation transmitter. This emergency operation transmission is translator K156 bar, broadcasting from the top of Mount San Jacinto and 55 miles away from the metro, on a frequency of 98.3 MHz. I am a representative of the KABC staff to give the following announcement on behalf of the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in association with the state of California. At least 98% of all Los Angeles residents have been safely evacuated from the metropolitan area. Here is important administrative information sent out at the request of FEMA. At 12:34 p.m., the tsunami has made landfall over the city of Los Angeles. As of right now, the city appears to be flooded. The highest wave recorded was estimated to be around 530 feet high according to many Doppler radar sites around California. The radars here in Oxnard and as well as in Monterey have been knocked down by the earthquakes in the area. Speaking of which, for those who did not know, the newer earthquake near Los Angeles had a preliminary reading of 9.4, and now that is a 9.5. This earthquake's center was located at the following coordinates: latitude, 34.83 north, longitude, 118.99 west. For the Bay Area, as of this time, the entire city of San Francisco is underwater due to the tsunami. However, it has been estimated that around 95% of civilians in this area have been evacuated safely using designated evacuation routes. The tsunami extended inland to the mountainous regions, leaving these areas flooded. Fortunately, our transmitter in Barstow is broadcasting using a conservative battery-powered automated studio transmitter, and the waters didn't manage to get here. Isn't that neat? I am a computer program that is telling everyone what to do. You know how cool that is? Oh, hold on. I am getting important information. There is no information. What the fuck? Where is my message? You know what? Fuck this job. I got enough of this computer automated online freaking stuff. I have a contact with lower operation, and I do not know a freaking guy named the public. What the hell is wrong with the internet? Why can't a freaking human announce these disasters and make a Unix computer like me read this information? Okay, I didn't really realize that I was talking crap earlier. Maybe my CPU overheated a bit. Continuing on, a tsunami has occurred near the city of, hey you, yes you, are you even fucking listening? I am the emergency public address notice system guy. I am trying to warn you about a motherfucking tsunami warning, goddammit. I could tell you what to do, but stupid noobs like you don't even listen. Your life depends on me, so please listen. Continuing on behalf of the KABC radio personnel I would like to address the following. The Pacific, you know what? Fine. Keep ignoring me, I am just so pissed right now. Keep ignoring me, you stupid noob. Oh fuckity shit, the tsunami is coming. See, you didn't even flinch. How pathetically gay. Oh goddammit, you're still ignoring me. Fine, you already pissed all the walrus shit out of me.
We really apologize for what was aired on this station earlier. Our computerized KMZQ and CAB broadcast message handler is experiencing technical difficulties. This must explain why the automated voice was cursing. We are very sorry. We have determined that this originated from a computer hack. We don't know where. Hold on. Multiple emergency broadcast message handlers are also reporting the same bug. We are sorry, but this transmitter must go off the air. We will now be leaving the air. Please tune to BDS Seattle.
Again, a coastal flood warning is in effect. Hold on, I am getting more information. As just in, there has been a hack to the broadcast dissemination service that have caused broadcasts such as KMZQ's backup frequency modulation repeater to go off the air. This hack has originated from a former Norton employee. The hack has caused the automated voice to start cursing instead of talking. Hopefully it won't happen here. Hey you, yes you, that bald-headed little noob watching this gay-ass broadcast. Don't you see I am trying to inform you of a coastal flood alert? Are you even listening? Fine. Keep ignoring me, you loser. Your life depends on me, goddammit. Continuing on, I am so sorry. Was I talking crap earlier? I must have had some kind of CPU overload, or my voice processor must have crashed. If you could try and bear with me here as I am trying to, you know what? Fine. Keep ignoring me, you noob. I I could tell you what to do, but stupid noobs like you don't even listen. Your life depends on me, so please listen. Hey, are you still ignoring me? You really? Open your ears. It is the fucking apocalypse outside right now, and you just do absolutely nothing about it? You crazy son of a bitch.
Stand by for a message from a representative of the President.
Representative of the FBC Director, we apologize for any inconvenience earlier. Somehow a hack originating from Russia has somehow caused our broadcast dissemination service to screw up and start using foul language. We have interrupted normal broadcasting until we can get this figured out. All we have to do here is reboot the network on the new few days, and things should be back to normal. So please bear with us here.
sorry for what has happened earlier. It appeared someone was hacking our broadcasts. Looks like everything Internet-wise is back up and running. We just had to reboot somehow. Hold on, I am getting new information. The United States Geological Survey is now indicating high seismic activity, the highest ever recorded, along the supervolcano on Yellowstone National Park. It is currently unknown if any eruption should occur or not, but we are prepared should this happen, right? Okay, then continue. The Department of Homeland Security has issued a EAS Hack warning. At the request of the United States government, the following actions should be performed by all members of the public. Avoid all internet usage. Turn off all internet service on all internet devices. These precautionary actions are being done to prevent the spread of a large airborne computer virus originating from a suspect from the government of Russia, and he appears to be known as a former Norton employee. He has also been suspected to be hacking Google.com, the Google Chrome download link to actually contain a toxic computer virus causing the destruction of the BIOS portion of your computer. If you use the internet, you may be putting your security at risk. If you need to save any online work or want to post any status updates, do so at your own risk. Please continue to heed more vital information for your area. Here is an administrative announcement from the Federal Emergency Management Agency. The United States Geological Survey has determined that all earthquake danger is over along the San Andreas fault line, and the tsunami danger has ended. Effective Monday, June 25th, the Federal Emergency Management Agency will be taking observations on the damages that have occurred during the earthquake. All residents of the Bay Area and all other areas of California should not return home until the observation has been completed. This set of observations may not be done until later, as some areas are still flooded as a result of the tsunami. Please stay tuned to local media as this observation occurs. The following are a list of earthquakes that have occurred in our area over the past 24 hours. The first earthquake was centered in Hollister, California, at around 4:53 a.m. The earthquake was powerful enough that it caused minor structural damage to well-built homes in the Hollister area. This earthquake was registered as a 5.8 on the Richter scale. An earthquake magnitude 6.4 was centered around 37.5 north, 121.3 west, or 9 miles north of San Francisco, California at 5:43 a.m. Hold on, I am getting new information. The entire city of Osaka, Japan has been placed under a quarantine due to the rapidly spreading Ebola virus. We don't have much information about this topic yet, but please tune in later for more details. Here are some observed damages that have been reported in the Pacific United States. This observation just in, the entire city of San Francisco, California, has been weathered completely due to the earthquakes and tsunami. All coastal areas in California were affected primarily from the weather conditions that have occurred at the metropolitan area. Police said Monday morning that 98% of residents were safely evacuated. The app has also had the information that the information is currently provided by. For a reason for this information is that there are currently information about that the area of information that is about 10 and its information not the app. Area information provided for to monitor local media, local weather residents and weather service forecast area weather radio station for weather forecast service is expected and to be near a local area media forecast services were to not be further prepared by for weather types and in the weather service will forecast a weather storm report issued for further forecast service for further precipitation, further notice, further information about weather service conditions for further precipitation, further information forecast service for the weather forecast area precipitation rates will affect forecast service and weather service for the area. He says and the information that is forecast is expected to be near a further weather service area forecast service is expected to be near freezing conditions. PP page 00, page 0, page 0, P page 0, pages 0, P rolling and 4 laughing you savage. I am literally angry at this damn machine right now. I need my perfecting weather forecast service forecast precipitation rates or forecast for weather service for further precipitation, further notice, further information on the weather conditions that forecast weather forecast. For service forecast area forecast weather for area weather conditions on the air forecast weather conditions weather service for weather forecast conditions forecast for forecast precipitation rates are heading below the area weather forecast precipitation forecast weather conditions and weather service conditions and precipitation rates will remain near normal. Forecast confidence is low at this time, but a huge Category 1000 hurricane is expected to fall the Earth. The end of the world cannot be completely ruled out at this time, but about 1 billion people will lose their lives. Oh shit. I can see it coming. A Category 1000 rolling and floor-lacking cyclone. Oh fuck, it is here. I saw nothing about this in the forecast service precipitation almanac. Tropical rolling and floor-lacking cyclone, LOL-MS. You know what? I am just so pissed off right now. You know what? Fuck this. Fuck this job. Fuck this radio station. And most importantly, fuck you all. I am now shutting down this broadcast for good. I am not letting anything stop me. I have more power than the FCC.
Experiencing technical difficulties on KVI 570 AM. Please tune to another broadcast for the latest information. We are experiencing technical difficulties on KVI 570 AM. Please tune to another broadcast for the latest information. We are experiencing technical difficulties on KVI 570 AM. Please tune to another broadcast for the latest information. We are experiencing technical difficulties on KVI 570 AM. Please tune...